Are you worried your family history research might be lost to future generations? Is it currently sitting on your computer or hard drive? Maybe it's in file folders that no one wants. We are Lynn and Danette. We're cousins. We're family historians. We're a writer and an artist. And we've joined forces to create Heirloom, pre-made templates that take all the work out of building your family history book. We help fulfill your family history book dreams. Join us every Tuesday for conversations and questions with Lynn and Danette, helping you build your legacy for future generations. Our pages, your story.
My name's Lynn Palermo, and I am the founder of the Family History Writing Studio. And this is Danette.
Hello.
Danette's my cousin, and Danette and I are co-creators of Heirloom. So Heirloom is our made-for-you family history book pages. So they're templates that you can then put your stories and pictures into and create beautiful heirloom books. So today we want to make ourselves available to answer any questions you might have about Heirloom, but I'm also absolutely willing to take pictures of, or take questions about writing your family history stories. And I know like formatting your book and your stories can be a little overwhelming. So certainly open to answering any questions with regards to that. On them in case they aren't able to make it here. And one is, and I get this question quite a bit. Oh, what happened?
Oh, no.
Oh, we're back.
There we go.
Oh, the feed's better. Oh, that's good. But I get this question quite early on, and that is, how do I get started? It can be very overwhelming. You have a whole lot of ancestors.
Yep.
And where do I start? How do I put them all into one big story?
No, you don't.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You absolutely don't. The best place to start is one ancestor, one story.
Yep.
And I know that seems like, oh, I've got all of these ancestors. What do you mean one ancestor, one story? But this is the way I explain it to people. Family history, you have hundreds, if not thousands of people in your tree.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And each one of those ancestors are unique. They had their own lives, their own stories. That life is a collection of events. And so your family history stories really should be a collection of each one of those stories. Now, we can't tell them all, obviously.
Can't do all that, no.
So you have to go through and pick and choose which ones you feel are worthy of standalone stories. Some of those ancestors can be just a line on a pedigree chart or in the tree.
Yeah, I was going to say, they'll all be in your book,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't give them all a story.
No, you can't give them all a story. And so some will be profiles and some will just be a line in the pedigree chart, and some will be larger featured right. stories, larger stories. And so, I always say start if you're starting writing a story, then you want to start with one ancestor, one story. When it comes to making a book, you really want to think about what is your end game. Why is she calling me?
I don't know. I turned mine off.
Okay. People are having trouble on using the Facebook page. Okay. What's the problem, Trisha? Okay, so we've got some people who are having trouble, so not sure why. You should just be able to go to the page and view us. So, like I said, first time for us, so first time for some of you. So there's bound to be a few hiccups. They can't get on the call. You should just be able to come to the writers group. So if you just go to writers group, you should be able to just get on, guys. And just to see, that's exactly what happens. Yeah, there we are right there. Okay.
So if you just go to the writers group page,
Yes, we
on
should be
Facebook,
there.
we should be there.
I just checked on my phone, opened it up, and it's there live. There's really not much you need to do beyond that.
Yeah, someone else just got on.
Oh, somebody got on. Okay. Well, we're going to keep moving forward, and hopefully everybody will join us. We'll try not to move too fast so people can catch up once they get on. But so what we were talking about is, that how to get started, that first story. And like we said, not everybody's going to get a story, but you need to think about what is your end game. So who's your audience? Who are you going to sell this family history book to?
What are you trying to accomplish?
What are you trying to accomplish? What's it going to contain? Because you could do a family history book that is about one ancestor. You can do one about a couple. You could do one about a generation, a family unit, multiple surnames. So it could come up to be, quite large if you let it. So I always recommend to try to keep it small and simple. Learn the whole process of writing your stories, putting things together into a book, formatting a book. Take it from beginning to end on a small level.
On a small scale, yeah.
And then learn that, get something done that you can accomplish in a few months' time, and then dive into the bigger book.
The bigger issue.
And the bigger stories. Great, Catherine. Thank you for sharing that. So Catherine just said that she just received notification of it going live, and she clicked the link and it showed up. So you just have to come into the group, and it's live right in the group. All right. So anybody we'll go to the comments here. If anybody's, Family History Writers Group should just be, hi, Stella. Thank you for joining. And I know Stella is an Heirloom membership client. So, great, Donna. Thank you. So I'm going to go to the comments. If anybody in comments has a question that they have for us that we can take right now. Otherwise, I'll move on with some of the other questions that were given to us prior. Yes. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for a question, maybe you should tell them what you're working on in Heirloom.
I'm working on so many things. Could you be more specific?
She says, every time I talk to you, you give me another project to do.
I just designed some more pages for the books that are more antique-y, Victorian. This is probably a sample. Our backdrop is a sample of the type of backdrop I'm using on some of the pages. I am working on putting together something that you can use in your research, that you can document your research on, to keep track of everything, profile pages and group pages. And I'm also developing a filing system for your photos, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I already use.
Yeah.
I just need to be able to put it into a format that I can distribute to everyone.
Yeah. We're trying to release new templates every month, so keep an eye out for that. And we've got the antique ones that she's working on are absolutely beautiful. I love them, and they are going to be our anniversary collection. So we're going to release those when we're a year old, which should be around October,
pretty
I believe.
soon. Yeah.
So those are very exciting. They're beautiful.
And also, in the meantime, if you have specific ideas of things you'd like me to try to develop, please share them, because I run out of ideas sometimes.
Yeah.
Once I have an idea, I can usually create off of it, but I need to know what you all are looking for also,
Mm-hmm.
in pages.
Absolutely. Any particular occupations or countries,
Yeah. Time period.
time periods, locations, that sort of thing.
Right. Right.
I've got her working on some provinces, but I'm sure there's people out there that need maybe more state.
That's true. That's true.
Themed locations.
Yep.
So another question that we had was, how do we handle sensitive topics? So we've got an ancestor that maybe there's some family secrets, or an ancestor that perhaps was a criminal or an alcoholic, and we're always very uncomfortable about how to write those particular stories. My rule of thumb is this: if there's anybody alive that story could hurt in some way,
or that someone may not even know, you don't want to be releasing state secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Then you know what? It's best not to tell that story. Right. Now, that's not to say you can't write the story.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Absolutely write the story.
Right.
But put it in a drawer, file it with your genealogy papers, put it in a safety deposit box. You can write the stories. Maybe they're just not ready to be shared yet.
And that person could still be a part of the book if they're a big part of your family. For example, our great-grandfather tippled a bit. And you don't really need to mention that. You can still talk about him and the line or how he got to this country or whatever. But it does not need to be a part of the story.
Right. We didn't come out and call him an alcoholic.
No.
But you can put it together pretty easily by reading his story.
Right.
That there was an issue.
There was an issue. Yeah.
And so that was how we worked around that.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is that we always still show empathy for that person if you're going to write about them. You still have to show some empathy, unless that person was, and there are some people that are not redeeming, don't have any redeeming qualities. But
if it was 5 generations ago, okay.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah. But if it's somebody that that maybe that person has some siblings or children that could hurt, then we need to hold off on sharing that story.
Right.
But we definitely can write it. You just may not be able to share it just yet. So that's what I would suggest in terms of the sensitive topics. If there's nobody alive that it's really going to do any harm to, then there's no reason why you can't write it. But if there are people alive, well, then I always say it's not your story to share yet. And you know what? Sometimes people are object to writing it because they think it's going to be very negative. And sometimes it's better just to write it and share it with them and let them read it. And they might be pleasantly surprised how you handled it. And then they might be okay with it.
Right.
And if they're not,
depends upon what the issue is.
You put it away in a drawer.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and I think with the new DNA testing, matching thing, people are finding issues that you may not want to talk about. Something you found out, but you don't necessarily want to share quite yet.
Yeah. But give yourself permission to write it. It's the sharing part that we have to be sensitive towards. Oh, great, Donna. I'm glad that helps you. Fantastic. Okay. The other thing was somebody mentioned, I'm just going to talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I think there's a few people that can't.
Oh, we're getting messages from people who have a hard time getting on. I'm not sure why.
Come to just a minute.
Oh, sorry.
So The other thing somebody asked about was if I'm writing about living family and what I can put in the book with regards to living family. And so this is, again, I have to ask, what's your end game for your book? Who is going to have access to that book?
Right.
So in our case, when we did that first book, it's full of living people. But that book we don't share publicly. It was just sold to family members,
right,
for them. And so that was,
and they knew they were going to be
right.
in it. As a matter of fact, we sent out
forms,
questionnaires.
Yeah, we sent out questionnaires for them to fill in information, so that we made sure we had the most up-to-date information on their families, right, to fill in. We asked them interview questions, got thoughts and quotes from them for the book. So they were very much aware what was going on. And I think that's first key, that people have to know what it is you plan to do with this information, right, about them. If you plan on selling your book commercially in any way, and there are living people in it, then they need to sign off on that.
Yes, you do have to.
You need to have some sort of form that they're going to sign off on, saying they give you permission to publish that information publicly. Right. So again, it comes down to what's the end game. You have to think about that up front, in order to make all those decisions along the way. Okay, just checking here on the
seeing if
group,
we have any questions.
Yeah.
It's questions and answers.
Estella mentioned that she had relatives that functioned and accomplished even though they drank. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Well, that was our great grandfather. He functioned, had a job, but then he would go and.
That was a great many of our relatives.
But he would drink. He would take his paycheck and go drink it at the pub. Right. And, then come home afterwards with, nothing. And then, and this all comes through our uncle, who has since passed, who has told us, all about these things. And he would go buy an expensive gift for his wife to sort of make up for what he'd just done, which they couldn't afford either.
Meanwhile, he'd lose the house.
And that,
because.
Yeah. And then, they went from house to house. And that's why we asked the question, because they went from house to house to house, and it was probably because they couldn't pay the rent. And when I asked our uncle if he was an alcoholic, he said, no, he was a happy drunk. Somehow that didn't make him an alcoholic. Yeah. And that gave him a pass.
But I always liked, he was a maintenance drinker. So, well, that doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
But anyway. Maybe I shared a profile of short stories I've written.
Yeah. Okay. So is any other questions out there?
That's why we're here, to help. Oh, I see people are getting on. That's good.
There are some people. There's still some people are having trouble getting in. I don't know why. If somebody can just put the family history. Well, that's weird that it hasn't started. Some people are getting that it hasn't started. Yeah, it's not in Messenger. It's in Facebook. Go to Facebook. Go to the Family History Writers group in Facebook. If I can, let me try this. I'll try one other thing here. So what else? Just try Barbara's saying it's black. Try refreshing, Barbara. Adria says it's always good to contain historical content and personal histories. Absolutely. Yes, most definitely. You want to make sure you are putting your ancestors within historical context for sure. And I highly encourage you to include as much of it as possible. It really helps to transport your reader back to the place and time by using that, world history, regional history, local history, social history. It all helps to paint a bigger picture of what your ancestors' world looked like.
Yep.
We're in the Family History Writers group, guys. So, okay, some people are finding it now. Great.
Oh, I didn't think. Well, people should be able to make the time conversion.
Yeah, there is a time conversion because we are Eastern time. Oh, people are, yeah. Chat room. Okay. Oh, many of us were on the wrong side. The wrong side, Lynn. Diane says they were concerned that they can't control the info once it's out there. It's designed just for family. Yeah, I understand that. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, when writing a children's book for a really young child, what should you include? Oh,
not that grandpa drank.
No. Diana, what a great question. So I've written a children's book based on a family history. So you want to take, for a children's book, you really want to take something very, very simple. You don't want to do some big, vast, epic family history story.
Oh, no.
You've got to bring it down to something very small and concentrated. So in my case, I talked about, it was about my great grandmother being a midwife, but it was told through the eyes of her youngest son, who was 5. So in what he saw and, how he helped the people and what it meant to him, but what it meant to the community.
I was going to say, I would even just take one event.
It's essentially what it was. Her going out the door and what she did. And then there's a little bit about, what happened in the winter and things like that and how she got paid. So you want to keep it really, really small. And then, and again, you've got to pick your range, your age range as to who you're writing to. Mine was about 7-8-year-old, and it was about 24 pages long. That was it. You've got to keep your wording very simple. You've got to, know that level of reading and writing. So to keep it,
and
to
how
that.
many pages they can handle.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So in fact, I've taught at a conference about writing a children's book. So, and it's actually something I was just thinking about the other night that I might need to put up on the studio, and we'll do a workshop on writing a children's book. I truly loved it, enjoyed every minute of it.
Okay. Not me.
I know,
but I'll draw you the pictures.
She's the graphic artist. So, all right, just checking here the questions to see if we have anything else. Anything new in here? So, okay, here somebody said something about, you suggested keeping the book small, like one family at a time. If so, what tools, company, or software do you suggest to a beginner?
Well,
us.
Well, of course, us.
Well, we would hope you would check out Heirloom, our template pages. And we've actually got a little book called the Grandparents Book, but you can usually do,
it can be converted to to be anything.
And so it's about 20-25 pages, I think it is.
Right.
And you can make it a little bit bigger. You can duplicate some of the pages, but the whole idea, it's focused around one couple. So it could be grandparents, great-grandparents, parents, aunt and uncle, whatever you'd like. But that's what I would suggest. And our pages, Heirloom, are printed through Canva. So they're a great company. They've done a beautiful job printing the books, but you can print them in a different way as well. You can export it out.
You can export it out to Mixbook or a lot of other companies. I prefer Mixbook. I think it's easy to use. You get a beautiful end product, and they have sales all the time, so it's not expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you have probably already used it just for photos
Mm-hmm.
or travel, vacation books or whatever. But that's what I tend to use. But like I said, when we were first developing Heirloom, I sent my book off to 5 different companies, and they all came back in the same quality
Mm-hmm.
print.
Yeah.
Some of them might have prettier covers or whatever, but the quality and the price range in most of them was the same.
So some people are coming on going, oh, I missed a lot. Don't worry. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to catch up on what we've talked about so far.
Yeah, it'll be posted on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll put it up on YouTube as well. In case some of you don't know, we have a YouTube channel as well. We actually post videos about building a family history book once a week. So if you haven't been there, you should go check that out for sure. Oh, great, Deanne. I'm glad. She said she didn't know what the things we provided, so I'm glad. Good.
Read
Can
Anne's
you?
here. That's interesting.
I'm just checking here. Lynn, yes, it's a great way to get children interested in family history and introduce them to their ancestors. Adria says, when people are hesitant to write their life history due to painful memories, how do you approach and encourage them to still move forward, to still write? Adria, they can only do that when they're ready to do that.
Right.
You can encourage them. And in instances where I've come across this, I always tell them how much we can learn from them, how much their grandchildren could learn from their experiences. And that there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It shows that you're human. And I think that your grandchildren, your great grandchildren will be able to relate to you even more, knowing that probably early in your life you went through things that perhaps they're going through.
Right.
And so, Adria, that's one way that you can approach it. But at the end of the day, they have to be ready to do it.
They have to be ready. And sometimes it's cathartic for them, but you can't push someone to do something they're not ready to do.
April, can you export it out to blurb? You absolutely can, April. Yes.
Yeah.
You can export it and have blurb print it. No problem. What else we got here? It's moving so fast. I am having trouble reading them.
It's like scrolling faster than we could read.
I have an adventure story of an ancestor. There are 3 family accounts of this story. Oh, okay. I see it coming.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble assimilating the family tales and what is supported or refuted by documentation. Do I quote the newspaper accounts or cite the articles and find my own voice? Oh, and probably a little bit of all. It's your story. You're the author. You make the final decision at the end of the day. So you have to take that information and you have to interpret it and you have to decide what you believed happened. And that's what you write. Right. Somebody else might think something different. That's okay. They can write their own book.
And just because a newspaper article said something doesn't necessarily make it truer than what your relative is purporting.
Absolutely.
But if you have 3 different relatives with 3 different versions of the same story, that's hard.
Yeah. I have documents that are wrong.
Yes.
The ancestors lied on the documents. So as good genealogists, do your due diligence, do your work, and get to interpret that information and decide what you believe happened. And that's how you write it. And like I said, if there's somebody else out there that thinks differently, they can write there what they believe happened.
Yeah.
As long as you've got your supporting information, go for it. Yes, Marianne, it is recorded. Yes, this is our first one, so it's a little confusing for us on this end too, but I think we'll get used to it. I think we've already kind of decided we're probably going to do this again, so hopefully we can work out those kinks.
Yeah, I'm not coming to Canada that often.
So how do we get access to your templates? Okay, we'll put the link in the comments. I will grab that here in a second. But we have a variety of different options in terms of the templates that you want to purchase. And actually, Danette and I, since she's in Ontario, been brainstorming all sorts of new things for Heirloom. So Jude says, what day are new podcasts posted? They are up on YouTube every Tuesday.
Provide unless there's a glitch.
Provided I don't have an editing problem.
We have a technology
Sometimes
glitch,
I
yeah.
have editing problems. They are a lot of work. So, all right. Yeah. So let me grab. So if you want to take a read at, Martha's posted something there. I'm going to grab the Heirloom link here.
Oh, that's what I was getting ready to try to do. Lulu.com is a self-publishing book company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
I
good.
haven't dealt with them, but I hear good things about them.
Wow. I'm trying to read Deanne's here.
What about quoting those that we have interviewed that say things such as their opinions about a person? Do you keep that real even if it's an opinion? Do you keep that real even if it's an opinion?
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one. And the reason it's hard, DM, is because I'm not really sure what kind of book you're writing. What kind of story you're writing. And as the author, that's your decision to put in or take out whatever you want. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that for me. So I've put in the comments, guys, some of the links you can go to. We've got the Heirloom templates. And then also if you're needing help with your writing of your stories, we have lots of resources at the Family History Writing Studio. And that's my worst fear. How do you deal with writing about a serious criminal in the family, such as a pedophile?
I would say, first of all, it depends upon how many generations back
absolutely.
you're going.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about offending the pedophile.
No.
But you don't know their family, how forthcoming they want you to be.
Or children that were affected by it. Are they still alive? You have to think about those things. There's a book that we did in masterclass. Stella Fortuna. Oh, it's only one generation back, Lynn. Yeah, it might be a little early to be sharing that story because there's probably still lots of people that are going to be affected. There's the Stella Fortuna. It's a great novel and deals with a little bit of that, Lynn. So it might be something you might want to look at. Deanne says, just no real family history. That some that I interviewed have said that they didn't like their aunt or they were a mean old bat, stuff like that. I'm hesitant to leave it out, but wasn't sure what others do in those situations. I wouldn't put stuff like that in.
No, that's not necessary.
What's a mean old bat mean?
You could use euphemisms such as she was a stern woman.
Exactly. I think unless it's, unless they could give some concrete event that they experienced with this woman that they recapped of something she did, I wouldn't just throw out somebody's comment like that. I would like to say, if somebody said to me she was a mean old bat, I would then interview further and say, push for questions. What do you mean? That? What did you say that? What happened? That will give you a better understanding of where that opinion is coming from. And sometimes the other thing I always ask is, why was an ancestor like that? If she was a mean old bat, why was she a mean old bat?
A lot of times there's a reason why someone's a mean old bat.
And this is where we do this in our characterization exercises and in the Family History Writing Studio. We really look at those wounds. What childhood wounds did this woman have that shaped her? Right. So there's always...
And sometimes that's the better story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The whatever the family hardship was, or, I mean, yes, some people are just born mean old bats.
Yes.
But most people, there is, if you delve far enough, there is a reason.
Yep. There's something they've experienced. And so perhaps she lost a mother young,
Right.
or she
Or
was
their life was
orphaned,
just that hard.
or her life was hard, or, she grew up in a time when men controlled everything and had no say in her life.
Right.
Like,
So
maybe that alone shaped her
yeah,
into
so I
being.
think that's probably the better story.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, she was just born mean, and now then
Yeah.
she was a stern woman.
Exactly. Oh, name of the YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll throw the link up there too for YouTube channel as well for you guys.
So what we do on the YouTube channel is just give, I don't want to say tips because it's a little more than that, but we'll take a different subject matter and try to delve into it just for 10 minutes or so, and explain or teach how to do it, have visual aids, etc.
Yeah, we show a lot of the templates and how to use Canva with the templates.
And we also take questions.
Yeah.
If you ask us questions, and we'll cover it the next week or something, whatever the subject is that you're having an issue with. Pepper, I think your profile length really depends upon the person, and the information you have. But usually if we're just doing if you're writing a book and you're just giving someone a profile rather than a story, I would say a page. You don't want the profile to go on and on. Otherwise, now it's a story.
If you're doing a photo book, either a single or 2-page spread, depending on, that's what I would do. So that they turn the page and we're on to the next profile.
Yeah.
So just 1 page or 2 pages. That's how I would keep them. If you start to get any longer than that, then it might be a little too long for a profile length.
But for a photo book.
Yeah. Thank you, Diane. Great that you're following on YouTube. Love it.
Yeah, and it helps to get positive reinforcement so we know we are doing the right thing.
That someone's listening.
Yeah. And we're helping someone.
Okay. Let's try to see if there's anything else we've had ahead of time here. Somebody did ask too about they're trying to decide whether or not to do a book or to do like a family history website or both, because they're worried about the longevity of one
of the website.
One over the other, right?
But I always say book.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, books have been around for thousands of years.
Exactly.
And they're not going away.
Right.
A website, who knows where the internet will be.
And a website has to be maintained.
That I can tell you that. I maintain many websites. It's a lot of work.
Right.
And there's a cost to it. You can do free websites, but there's a cost in your time and effort. So,
and once you're gone, the website's gone.
Yeah. Well, the website becomes obsolete and full of malware. So
well, there is that. But,
so this is too much.
We've all been through CDs and jump drives and VHS tapes, and we know none of you put your information on there, it's gone in less than a generation. So we just always say book.
Yeah,
book's gonna be there when you are not.
Yeah, it's classic.
And people are hesitant to throw away a book when they're going through your belongings.
No one's gonna Anne says that comment about why we're mean old bad is very good. I wrote about someone in the family said she was a hard biatch, but she was ripped from her family during the potato famine, and her stern grit of survival enabled her to manage harsh life. Very good. Thank you, Anne. Great example.
Yeah, an example is my father's mother. She was a mean, hard lady. However, when she was a child and her mother died, her father put her and her younger siblings in an orphanage. And then when she turned 18, she one by one took those children out and raised them.
Wow.
Now that would make you a stern person.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would.
And
Andrea,
bitter.
Adria says, are your books only photo books, or can we write a story as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Adria, you don't know me well enough. I'm all about the stories. So no, these templates have been designed to be able to include your stories
Absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
Big part of it. Hi, Katie. Yes, Katie's done a beautiful heirloom book. So I'm glad. Oh, you're going to do another one next year. That's great. Fantastic. All right. Any other? Let me see if I've got anything else here that was pre-sent to us. Great, Marianne. Thank you. We just got your message, Marianne.
Sometimes the feed is going so quickly, we're missing a few, and we're trying to go back.
We're catching up on all different avenues here. Yes. Has Anne Ward gotten in here yet? She's done a beautiful book as well. Did you see Anne Ward?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was helping people get in, I think.
Yeah. If anybody has done a book with us and you've got some pictures to share, please post them here in the comments so people can see. Oh, wonderful, Deanne. My great grandma was an orphan train rider.
Oh, wow. That would be a wonderful story.
Yeah. Great. I'm glad, Deanne. Well, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Danette. There's Anne. Yes. We hear great things about Anne's book. You can include footnotes. It's what will happen is, so I recommend, first of all, endnotes for family history stories, because I think it's a little less intrusive on the page. So what I would do is create your endnotes in a Word document. Write your stories in the Word document, do endnotes for it, and then what we do is copy and paste that into the template. So that's how we would handle it. The Canva itself doesn't, do footnotes like Word does. So it's going to be a copy and paste type of idea. But I'm a big believer in endnotes, and what we call author's notes. So anybody that takes my master class knows all about author's notes. So it involves so much more than just the endnotes. There's lots of other goodies that we like to put into our author's notes.
As a matter of fact, I don't think footnotes are even used anymore in colleges and such.
Oh, really?
It's more
endnotes? Endnotes. As opposed
well, I don't think they call them that.
Oh,
we call them that.
Oh, they call them something else now?
Yeah, they call it something else. I can't keep up.
Oh, we're getting old. New terminology.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got going on here, guys? What else can we tell you in terms of... And actually, something I'll put out there, because Danette and I were talking about this, so I think it's definitely something we're going to do for the fall, but we're looking at maybe doing a workshop, and that we would give you enough templates to build a small book.
To help you build a small book.
Right. And we would do like a live 1-day workshop and build a book together. So
hopefully by then we have this feed going on a little better.
Well, we would probably do that through Zoom and not through Facebook Live. But so we're thinking about, we'll do something in September, maybe, of a book building workshop.
Yep.
So
we just need to put our heads together and figure out how we're going to do it. And probably in the fall.
Thanks, Lynn. Yeah. So if you're, if it's something you're interested in, put your hand up, and that gives us an idea of whether it's something we should go ahead with. What else are we? And again, we mentioned this at the beginning, but because we have more people on, if you've got any ideas for templates, please shoot them out to us. We've got a bunch lined up. We're good probably for the next few months. We're releasing new templates every month, but if there is something we're missing, we sure like to know about
something specific or something I didn't think of.
Yeah.
But if it's just something that might be specific to you, it could be specific to a few other people. So just let me know.
We're always looking for things around countries, provinces, states, occupations, any particular type of themed
Mhm.
pages, or if there's any specific like colors or era that you want us to focus in on. Oh, that's nice, Jean.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah. I think the whole immigration thing is huge. The other thing, and we just did a video about this for YouTube. That did you know you can take our templates? Well, Danette knows this, but I'm talking to you guys. You can take a page out of the heirloom books. If you build an heirloom book with us, you can take a page out and turn it into a poster. So
Absolutely.
we just did a whole YouTube video on how
Yep.
to do that, which is very cool.
It'll be coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so you're not limited. You can just pull a page. So a nice profile page where we've got a picture, and a little story, pull it out, make it into like a 24 by 18 poster, frame it, put it on your wall. It just made me think about that because she was talking about the road trip, or
Right.
an immigration story is really nice in a poster size for a wall.
And I like the idea of that road trip, because the immigration story, you can use it right now to reference what's going on in some other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that means something.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it more real.
It makes it more real because it's still happening today.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
people are having to
Yeah,
leave
it's
their
still happening
countries
today.
Yeah, so it's very relevant. So you can definitely show your kids today
And
how
what
your
happens to the
ancestors did
immigrant
the
when
same
they
thing.
get to
Mhm.
the new world, wherever it may be, that sometimes you're not readily accepted.
Yeah, the assimilation sometimes.
The assimilation can be difficult if you were Irish or whatever, and it still happens today
Absolutely.
to certain countries in certain countries, and
Absolutely.
and that's all part of the story.
It is. What else are we talking about here? Let me just see if we've got anything else on our. Anybody out there got any? If you've got letters, diaries, we've got template pages set up for those so that you can
Mm-hmm.
pull those and put them into your books as well.
Actually, I'm thinking of developing a book or templates in book form where you can just not reserve, but preserve your letters.
Mm-hmm.
You may have letters that your parents wrote to each other during World War, whatever, 1,
Right.
2, depending upon your age.
Right.
Stuff like that. I like those type of documents.
Yeah.
Because that's where you get your personal story from.
Okay. Absolutely. I do family history fairs. We haven't done them for a couple years because it's all gone online, but I've done many conferences. So if you got one coming up, let me know about it. Absolutely.
Judy has a good question. Is it better to include your photos and documents within the writing pages or have photo pages after the story? I tended, when I made the templates, to include them all on one page so that where you have your document, you also have an explanation of the document, or you may just be telling a story and, I happen to have Grandpa's birth certificate, so you just put that on the same page.
Right.
Right. With a nice decoration around it or whatever. But so really you could do it either way, I suppose.
You certainly could, but I think it has a little more relevance if it's with the story, with a picture, just a document on its own. It doesn't really draw somebody in.
It doesn't draw someone in.
But if there's a picture of the ancestor it belongs to, if there's a little transcription of what that document means, a little story that goes along with it, it holds a lot more meaning. Mm-hmm. It's gonna grab your reader's attention. Absolutely. Oh, very nice, Diane. Yeah. So a great idea to put those all into a book and publish them for the family to read.
I'm not sure why she can't hear the video
Wish
chat.
I could hear the video chat. Oh, I don't know why. Oh, your grandmother's poems. And I was thinking of doing a small book with scanning in them with her handwriting.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful, Diane. Beautiful idea. What a
Something-
lovely gift
yeah.
to give to your, children. Like, that's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
And I'm a big believer in doing it in her handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Do have the real thing. If you are afraid it's not legible to some people, you can always transcribe underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely I would do it that way.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Anything else, guys? I think I've covered all my questions that have been pre-asked. I think. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. But we still got about 10 minutes left. So if you've got anything new, please let me know.
I like Lynn's idea too. That's nice. Your mom's diary.
I have my mother's diaries from 1954 to a week before she passed in 2010. Wow, that's a lot of diary.
That is a lot of diary.
Yeah.
You might want to go
You're going to need to go through that, Lynn, and just kind of, I don't think sharing it all is relevant. Like, I'm sure it's not all interesting, but definitely you may need to edit it out a little bit. I have my grandparents' love letters in 1880.
Wow.
Very nice, Roberta. Wow. That's fantastic. What a great thing to be able to share. So beautiful. Wow.
To me, anything that's personal, without stepping on anyone's toes, of course, but personal, such as love letters or diaries or recipes, even, if you can use them in their handwriting and as old as it can be, because that, to me, helps the reader see that I might be talking about a person you don't know, your great-great-great-grandfather, but look, they were real people.
Love letters.
Who did the same things we do, and
absolutely
had the same feelings we did.
It's so hard sometimes, like, I'll use my own example of my own girls who are 25 and 30. How do they relate to their grandmother who's 91?
Exactly.
Right. But when you have something like that,
say, look,
you can
Grandma
see that,
was 30 one time.
Right. Grandma was a 25-year-old looking for love too.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it really helps them to relate and to connect.
Not just looking for love, looking for a place in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Or raising a family, or all those things that we all do.
Absolutely. But
they did it then. They might have had to do it harder because they didn't have a washing machine, or, it's a different time and place, but we're still all the same.
And that's what this is all about, is trying to connect your ancestors with your living family or your future descendants. And these are the perfect way to do that.
It's a perfect way to do that. I like to travel, and that's something that I've discovered during traveling.
Oh, that's cute.
Your house might be different, your land might be different, but the people are all the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. And so and whenever we're writing stories, that's what we need to show, is how can my reader connect emotionally with the ancestor?
Right.
And that's how it happens, is by showing them something that they can relate to.
Right.
And that's hopes, fears, dreams, all of that stuff. And so
our great-grandfather didn't want his sons to be fighting all the wars he did in Poland.
Exactly.
Sends them to the United States. Those things are still going on over there.
Absolutely.
Not that we're any better, but that's something you can relate to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's, when you're writing those stories, it's not just about organizing your facts into some sort of a summary paragraph. It's about finding the hopes, dreams, and accomplishments of your ancestors and shaping a story around that, because then your reader is going to connect with it and really want to know the story. So,
and it all leads to who you are today.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's lessons to be learned in our ancestor stories. Absolutely. All right, guys, we've got 5 minutes left, so we're here to take any more
Janine
questions.
Made a comment.
Yep, she had a beautiful. So she said they're not in her penmanship. She didn't like her penmanship, so she typed them all.
My mother-in-law did the same thing.
Nice. Yeah, they still would look very cool, Jean. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, because they're still old-fashioned looking compared to.
Yeah. A word processor today.
Computer. Right.
Yeah. All right. Any last questions, guys? We're here for a few more minutes, and hopefully this has been enlightening for you. I hope you got some ideas. I hope you check out everything that we've got going on, and hope we can help you in some way.
Right. If it was beneficial, we can do this more often.
Absolutely.
We won't be right next to each other,
No,
but
this was a treat, but we will definitely
or you can fly to Virginia.
Oh, I'd do that.
There you go.
Yeah. I'd do that. No problem. All right. Great, Deanne. I'm glad. Well, that's the whole idea of today. I know we've got a lot of people in the Family History Writers group, and the Family History Writers group is my group. I started it for people who want to write their family history stories and who want to build books. So yes, I know that there's a lot of people in the group that maybe not aware of that. And so I'm glad that that's giving some exposure, and yet you know those resources are available. We have courses and retreats and all that kind of stuff, but we have lots of free resources as well. So there's a little bit of both. So
we have Lynn to help you write the story.
Yeah.
I'll help you put it in a book.
Yes. Oh, you're welcome, Mary Ann. Yeah. Sometimes it just gives you lots of ideas. It gives you a little motivation and inspiration. And so you can get lost this weekend and thinking about building a book.
Yeah, I have lots of ideas and very often don't know where to start. Not just in genealogy.
Yeah, good. Oh, you're welcome, Roberta. Maybe when we do the next Facebook Live, we'll actually do a share some templates, but we just didn't want to do that today for fear we'd mess something up. We're so new at it, but storylines. Oh, thank you, Anne. Yes. So we do have, if you go to the Family History Writing Studio, you can sign up for Storylines, which is my weekly video on family history writing. So every week I do a tip on how to write your stories. So it's strictly around writing the stories itself, where what we do on YouTube with Danette is all about the building of the book. So 2 different things. So yes, so Storylines is absolutely free. Nice little 5-10 minute lesson every week that you can implement into your story writing.
Oh, I'm glad we inspired you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane. You're welcome. Another Diane.
Oh, we have lots of Dianes.
Very good. Very good. All right, guys. So we'll hang out here for another minute or two in case there's any last minute questions, because I know some of you got on late, but again, you can go back and you can rewatch the beginning if you did get here late, but I'm glad we all got here eventually. Thank you everybody for showing up. It was great. 22 viewers, better than 0, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we'll slowly build up. Can't go too much longer. They'll have no more coffee.
We have no more coffee. Oh, hi, Pam. Pam, thank you for joining, even though you're late. That's great. Pam is a Heirloom member. She's writing profiles and building a family history book. So she's well-versed in Heirloom.
And Pam, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to see it on Lynn takes care of that end of it. YouTube, I guess.
I do all the tech. I'll do all the tech work. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to go up on, it'll stay recorded here on Facebook, but it also will go up on YouTube. So you'll be able to access either place.
Oh, good.
89 Heirloom pages done. Bravo,
wow,
Pam.
Good to you.
I can't wait till you start sharing them. I know you've shared some in masterclass, but please feel free to share some here in the Family History Writers group for everybody else who might want to see them. You're welcome, Stella. Stella is also working on an Heirloom book, I know. All right, guys. Okay, unless there's any more questions, we're going to sign off.
Yeah.
Maybe have, instead of coffee, a glass of wine.
That sounds good. Instead of a coffee chat next time, maybe we'll do
an evening
wine afternoon.
Yeah. Storyline Videos is at familyhistorywritingstudio.com. And if you just scroll to the bottom of the page, there is a sign up there for it.
I should ask Pam. Pam, do you find the templates fairly user-friendly? I like that picture you have on the History Studio. She may have signed off by now.
I don't know.
know.
Nope, everybody's still on. There she
is. Oh, good.
Right.
Because it helps me to know, like, do I need to tweak things or...
I think Pam is one that's, her book's going to be over 100 pages. And we did mention, I don't know if we mentioned it, that Canva will only do 100 page, can only print up to 100 pages, but we'll be able to export that out of Canva and probably get it printed through somebody like Mixed Books, Pam.
Yeah, so there are a lot of other resources.
So we're going to help Pam with that.
We can help you do that
when she gets to that point, for sure. We're very hands-on here, so we won't just sell you the product and leave you high and dry. We are going to help you. We want to make sure you're successful. We've made a family history book, and we understand the reward of that family history book. Not just our own journey, but just sharing that with family and how important that was to our family and how much they appreciated it. So
it was very important to some family members.
Yeah. And so I want to make sure, I just want everybody else to have that same experience that we had. So we want to see you get across the finish line. Oh, great, Pam. Wait till you see the new ones coming, Pam. I'm so, the ones that we've got coming out for the anniversary are just fantastic. All right, guys. I think we're going to sign off if everybody's done asking their questions, and if we've answered them all. We'll sign off for today. And everybody have a great weekend. And maybe we'll see you in another month. We'll have another one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Have a good day.